A very good, happy Wednesday morning to everyone out there. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather and not forecast, courtesy of On Target. Gonna get started off today. We're not talking about the weather. We have had a 8.8 magnitude earthquake that occurred right off the southeast coast of Russian Peninsula there. We have got tsunami watches and warnings that remain out across portions of the continental U.S., stretching up through Alaska as well. Wanted to bring you that update early this morning in case anyone missed this throughout the overnight. Quite the threat that's unfolding over in some of those directions. Already got some reports of some waves coming inland as well, so that'll be worth keeping close eyes on. Getting here and back closer to home, we'll get a look at what our current surface map is looking like. We got a cold front that's slowly but surely crawling its way to the south and east towards the region. It's going to be another intensely hot and humid day out there. Extreme heat warnings remain in place for the vast majority of the Wobbles community. We're going to have a mix of sun and clouds to deal with, but folks, we're going to be looking at the opportunity of heat indices between 105 and 115 degrees as we work into this afternoon. But relief is on the horizon in the form of that cold front, so it's not going to be all bad news with the relief right here on our doorstep. Kicking things off, overlooking the WRUS Skycam. Beautiful start to what's going to be another very muggy day. It's going to feel like a sauna in the great outdoors. 4:31, not nearly packed yet with the morning commute, but I'm sure that'll be changing here momentarily. Beautiful masterpiece of a sunrise, folks. Our Proclaim broadcasting cam overlooking Barren River Lake has been on an absolute heater here over the past week or so, showcasing beautiful images here of the early morning sunrise over the southern Kentucky region. We can jump over here. We can give you a look at the latest current observations of what we're dealing with. It remains very hot and muggy to no one's surprise in the great outdoors. Already starting off with readings between the low and mid 70s in both the temperature and dew point department. And yes, folks, the broken record forecast continues. Real-time readings right around the mid 90s this afternoon. Dew points catapulting up to the upper 70s. That is what is going to equate to the opportunity of heat indices of 105 to 115 degrees. This will not be any heat to mess around with, that is for sure. Getting a look here at the surface map this morning, although we were just looking at the live view with a mix of cloud cover there across the region. You can see the cold front approaching there out of the north and west, but it's going to take its sweet time making it through here. It's going to end up south of the region at some point late Thursday into the early part of our Friday, whenever relief will finally be settling in here across the region. Getting a view of what the current makeup is, we can take a look at our heat indices. As we work into this afternoon, here we are, already at 100 degrees by the time we roll into lunchtime. Only going to go up from there, folks. Once you get up to 105 to 115 degrees, you know, what's the difference in a few degrees? It's dangerously hot and muggy. That's the only way to slice it. We get into the overnight, we lose that again. We get into our Thursday. There's a few question marks throughout the Thursday time frame on how quickly that cold front's going to arrive. Latest model guidance has slowed down the arrival of the cold front until later in the afternoon on into the evening. That is going to result in the opportunity of yet another day of heat advisories, if not another extension of the extreme heat warnings that we are currently under right now. Could very well be extended for another day with the slowdown of that passing front. But you will note here as we work into Thursday night and then on into our Friday, folks, it's going to be a far cry from what we have been experiencing. Take a look here at the simulated radar. We'll give you the breakdown on whenever the cold front's going to arrive. We work throughout today into this afternoon. Just stray, isolated pop-up showers and storms. Any storm that does get going, the vast majority should stay dry, but excessive rainfall, localized flooding, gusty winds, frequent lightning is all going to be in the cards for us. We get into our Thursday afternoon and evening, and you can blatantly see the cold front arriving here out of the north and west. Shear remains weak. That's what's utilized to help organize storms. It's the change of wind speed and direction as you go up in height throughout the atmosphere. That remains low on the totem pole with not very impressive values. So any storm that gets going right along ahead of the front, the same song and dance, folks, of what we were just mentioning. heavy rainfall, localized flooding, strong winds, the opportunity of frequent lightning as well. That's going to bow through here at some point during the afternoon. Here we are looking at 3 p.m. tomorrow. We get into the 4, 5, 6, and 7 p.m. hours, and then the front's trying to get to our south. We're going to keep those lingering showers and storms around until the cold front does firmly make its way down right along and south of the Tennessee border by roughly sunrise on Friday, and that is going to be welcome news. Not just with us getting rid of the rain and storm chances, but here's the real weather story. Take a look at our dew points. Going to be swimming again with our scuba gear today with mid and upper 70s in the dew point department. Same song and dance as we get into our Thursday as well. But folks, look at Thursday afternoon. And then here we have the passing cold front. And then by sunrise on Friday morning, we're going to have dew points down in the mid-60s. What a far cry from the mid and upper 70s we've been experiencing. Arms are open, folks, as Creed would say. Bring it on, right? We want that colder air ushering in here out of the north with high pressure building in here. Talking about dew points meandering right around the low and mid 60s throughout our Friday, folks. But dare we say it, throughout the Saturday and Sunday time frame, we're going to be talking about highs right around the lower 80s. Dew points in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Get outdoors and enjoy it. Compared to what we have been experiencing, it'll probably feel like a fall day to you out there, despite temperatures and dew points still well above average than fall-like readings, all right? This is where the cold front's going to be by the time we roll into our Friday morning. It's going to be just south of the region. This area of high pressure building over the Midwest and the Great Lakes is going to be our saving grace because clockwise flow is what ushers in these winds here out of the north and out of the north and east, all right? So that clockwise flow around that area of high pressure. Keep your eyes on this high, folks, not just through Friday, but as we work throughout the weekend. Here we are getting into our Saturday. Here we are working into the Sunday time frame. That area of high pressure remains to our north, keeping a northeasterly wind component, which signals us keeping the lower temperatures and dew points around. With that being said, you will note, folks, as we work into Sunday afternoon, and then we progress into our Monday, high pressure sets back up to our east. That clockwise flow will no longer be playing in our favor. That'll be bringing winds here back out of the south and west. We got pop-up storm chances making an appearance as early as Sunday afternoon and evening. But then on into our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the new work week, we're really going to warm back up with temperatures near 90 and dew points, unfortunately, making a return up between the upper 60s and lower 70s out there, right? So here's our weather story. We'll give you the breakdown. We are looking at an extreme heat warning that remains in place throughout today. Yes, you're reading that correctly, folks. Heat index values between 105 and 115 degrees today. We're going to be looking at the opportunity of this lasting through roughly 7 p.m. this evening, all right? I believe this is Wednesday's graphic, but we're underneath the same headlines there here as we work throughout today as well. Here we are looking at our Thursday time frame with the cold front dropping in here. As previously mentioned, folks, we're not looking at any sort of widespread severe weather or anything signaling that. We will have some generalized thunderstorms to deal with as well. However, as the cold front passes through, total rainfall amounts as it does make its way through here could be anywhere from roughly a tenth or quarter of an inch, upwards of a half inch if we're lucky to squeeze out as the storms work through here with that passing front. Here's a full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast. We got extreme heat and humidity both on the docket for today and to tomorrow. Got the scattered storm chances making the appearance tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening with a passing front, lingering into the very early morning hours of our Friday. But look at that sweet relief, folks. Lower 80s Friday on into your Saturday and Sunday. Scattered storm chances make an appearance on Sunday, continuing on into the start of the new work week, where you will notice temperatures back on the increase between the mid and upper 80s. Folks, it's going to wrap up your Wednesday morning hump day edition of your Weather or Not forecast, brought to you by On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a blessed Wednesday.